hell, I command you back!
What if your first night at a new job wasn't just stressful, but actively trying to possess you? Imagine being locked inside a mortuary after hours, surrounded by dead bodies, strict rules you don't fully understand, and a presence that knows your fears better than you do. That's the chilling premise behind the Mortuary Assistant, a cult horror game that traumatized players, and now it's making the jump to the big screen in 2026. Today, we're breaking down everything we know so far about the movie adaptation, from the cast and story details to how closely it sticks to the game's terrifying lore. Welcome back to Your Nerdy Show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. Let's step into the embalming room, keep the lights on, and talk about why The Mortuary Assistant might end up being one of the most disturbing horror movies of the year. From cult horror game to feature film, The Mortuary Assistant began life as a 2022 indie horror game developed by Brian Clark under the Dread XP label, and it didn't take long for it to earn a reputation as one of the most disturbing horror games of its generation. Instead of constant action or combat, the game focused on atmosphere, routine, and paranoia. You weren't running from monsters, you were doing a job, slowly realizing that something was deeply wrong. That concept alone made it stand out, and it's exactly why Hollywood came knocking. The film adaptation is directed by Jeremiah Kipp, best known for Slapface, a small but emotionally brutal horror film that proved he understands how to balance character-driven storytelling with raw terror. The screenplay is written by Tracy Beebe alongside Brian Clark himself, which is a huge deal for fans of the game. Having the original creator involved strongly suggests that this won't be a shallow adaptation that just borrows the name and premise. Instead, it looks like a faithful expansion of the game's world and ideas.
Help me, I don't know what I am doing here.
The core story, a job that should have stayed daytime. At its heart, Rebecca Owens, played by Willa Holland, a newly certified mortician who accepts a night shift job at a small-town mortuary. On paper, it's simple work, embalming bodies, filing paperwork, and keeping things running smoothly after hours. But very quickly, Rebecca realizes that the mortuary isn't just a place for the dead, it's a battleground for something far darker. Paul Sparks plays Raymond Delver, Rebecca's mentor and boss. And from the very first moments, his guidance feels ominous rather than reassuring. He doesn't talk like a man worried about lawsuits or mistakes. He talks like someone trying to keep her alive. His warning sets the tone for the entire film. What Rebecca is experiencing isn't stress or imagination, and if she doesn't follow the rules, she won't survive the night. One of the chilling ideas carried over from the game is the concept of demonic possession being a slow, creeping process rather than an instant takeover. The entity doesn't just jump out and kill you. It manipulates, lies, and waits. Rebecca is forced to continue her work while questioning her own sanity, never fully sure whether what she's seeing is real or the demon tightening its grip.
Listen to me if you want to survive.
Rules for survival in a haunted mortuary. One of the reasons the game was so effective is that it established rules, and the movie seems to be leaning heavily into that same structure. Raymond explains that to banish a demon back to hell, Rebecca must learn its name. This isn't just a bit of lore, it's a survival mechanic. The demon hides its identity, manipulates the environment, and uses fear as a weapon, while Rebecca races against time to piece together clues before possession becomes permanent. The trailer teases this ticking clock tension through disturbing imagery and fragmented moments of terror. Bodies move when they shouldn't. Shadows linger too long. And in one particularly unsettling moment, Rebecca appears to be strangled by a demonic presence, only for the next shot to reveal that she's actually choking herself. It's a perfect visual metaphor for what the story is doing. The real horror isn't just the demon, but the loss of control and identity.
Is somebody there?
Willa Holland as Rebecca Owens. Casting Willa Holland as Rebecca is a smart choice. Known to many from Arrow, Holland has always excelled at portraying characters who are emotionally guarded but quietly unraveling beneath the surface. That's essential for Rebecca, who spends much of the story isolated, alone with the dead, and slowly losing her grip on reality. Rebecca isn't written as a stereotypical horror protagonist who makes obviously bad decisions. She's competent, trained, and rational, which makes the supernatural elements even more terrifying. She knows what a body is supposed to do, and more importantly, what it's not supposed to do. Every violation of those rules feels personal, as if the mortuary itself is turning against her.
I want this to stop. Please!
Paul Sparks and the mystery of Raymond Delver. Paul Sparks brings a very specific kind of energy to horror roles, often playing characters who feel grounded yet unsettling. Raymond Delver is exactly that. He's not screaming warnings or panicking. He's calm, precise, and clearly burdened by knowledge he'd rather not have. There's an implication that Raymond has faced this entity before, and possibly paid a heavy price for surviving it. His role adds an extra layer of mystery to the story. Is he protecting Rebecca, or simply passing the curse along? Does he truly understand the demon, or is he improvising survival rules based on his own trauma? The film seems poised to explore these questions, turning Raymond into more than just an exposition character.
I have something that you want.
How the film adapts the game's unique structure. One of the biggest challenges in adapting the Mortuary Assistant is the game's procedural storytelling. In the game, events change with each playthrough, showing different vignettes and endings. The movie obviously can't replicate that interactivity, but early details suggest it will focus on the idea that Rebecca's experience is fragmented and unreliable. Instead of a single linear narrative, the movie may present events in a way that feels disjointed, with hallucinations, flashbacks, and shifting realities blurring together. This approach mirrors how the game keeps players off balance, never allowing them to feel fully safe or certain. The demon doesn't just haunt the mortuary, it haunts Rebecca's memories and perception.
You need to get off the phone.
Visual style and practical horror. The trailer indicates a heavy reliance on unsettling practical effects rather than flashy CGI. Corrupted bodies, subtle facial distortions, and brief shocking images appear designed to unsettle rather than overwhelm. This fits perfectly with the tone of the game, which relied on atmosphere and timing more than spectacle. The mortuary itself functions almost like a character, with sterile white rooms transforming into claustrophobic spaces filled with dread. Bright fluorescent lighting doesn't make things safer, it makes them more uncomfortable, exposing every unnatural movement and impossible detail.
So what do we do?
A horror film about control and identity. Beneath the scares, the Mortuary Assistant is ultimately about control. Rebecca's job is to prepare bodies that no longer have agency, yet she finds herself slowly losing her own. The demon's goal isn't just to kill her, it's to erase her, replacing her identity piece by piece. That theme is reinforced by the rule that knowing a demon's name gives you power over it. Names represent identity, and the demon works tirelessly to hide its own while stripping Rebecca of hers. By the time she understands what's happening, she may already be too far gone.
Hooarts, let's get you embalmed and I guess cremated.
What fans of the game can expect? For fans of the original game, the trailer appears to include numerous visual and thematic nods without directly copying gameplay mechanics. Familiar imagery, unsettling corpse behavior, and the central possession rules all seem intact. At the same time, the film expands on Rebecca's backstory and emotional state in ways the game could only hint at. Brian Clark's involvement as a writer is especially reassuring, as it suggests the adaptation respects the source material's tone and intent rather than simplifying it for mainstream audiences.
What do we do?
Release date and where to watch. The Mortuary Assistant is set to release in U.S. cinemas on February 13th, 2026, a perfectly sinister Friday the 13th adjacent date that feels intentionally chosen. After its theatrical run, the film will stream exclusively on Shudder beginning March 27th, making it easily accessible to horror fans worldwide.
The entity will do anything to gain control.
Why this could be one of 2026's best horror films. Video game adaptations have a rocky history, especially in horror, but The Mortuary Assistant feels different. It's not trying to be a blockbuster, and it's not chasing jump-scare-heavy trends. Instead, it's leaning into dread, atmosphere, and psychological horror, the same elements that made the game so memorable. With a director who understands emotional horror, a cast capable of carrying quiet tension, and a story that thrives on discomfort rather than spectacle, The Mortuary Assistant has all the ingredients to become a standout horror film. If it succeeds, it won't just be a good game adaptation, it could be one of the most disturbing cinematic experiences of the year. And if the film captures even half of the anxiety the game inflicted on players, audiences may find themselves thinking twice before ever wanting to be alone with the dead again.
Know what you experienced was terrifying.
Our nerdy thoughts. So, if you thought A Quiet Night Shift couldn't be terrifying, The Mortuary Assistant is here to prove you very, very wrong. With its unsettling premise, a strong cast led by Willa Holland, and a story that thrives on slow burn dread and psychological horror, this movie has all the ingredients to mess with your head long after the credits roll. Whether you're a fan of the game or going in completely blind, this 2026 horror release feels impossible to ignore. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into horror movies, games, and endings explained, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the scariest monsters aren't chasing you, they're waiting quietly in the dark.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.